Hi guys, welcome to my 2.1.7, which is um, Endswith string method class. In this class, like for example, this class will be part of string methods, and this is the subtopic of the strings. So I'm gonna teach you like how you can use this method in your projects or in your program. It is so easier like the last class like starts with it's just checking suffix and starts with checking prefix. So there no more differentiation. I mean, just one of them checking beginning part of the text or the like letters or the strings, and the other one which is ends with checking the end of the at the end of the strings. So what can we do with it? So let's say I have a file. Let me give you an example. And the file is something like what? For example, let's say 3a with something like that. Then it's just saying for let's say CSS file, okay? I want to use CSS like that. And I just want to check end of this string. I mean this dot like the extension part, this .css part. How I can do that? I just need to say print like last class for the checking starts with. Now I will check the suffix part, like extension part. I will just say file ends with, and I will add their extension if it is true. Yeah, that's all. Okay, nothing more. When you run that, it will say true. That's all, guys. Okay, you don't need to like fort a lot, I mean, to check anything else. So for about end of that. So at the same time, let's say we can use the our starts with to check the beginning part. So let's say starts with, and let's add for the starts with like 1 and h. All of them will say true, true and true. Did you see that? If I delete, like if I write only h, let's say false. But we can check prefix and suffix part together, right? It starts with and ends with. We're using for that. So, all right, let's delete the start with part and let's make an example. I can give you this example. For example, let's say, um, by the way, we can use tuple to check two things at the same time together. So how I can do that? So what can we use in this case? Let me think about that. Uh, okay, we can put there some more options for check it. Okay, for example, I can say again file, and I can say something else like that, and say mean dot js like JavaScript file. Now I want to check the two option like at the same time with the tuple method. I want to say file dot ends with and put another tuple into that to just check more. As you remember, if we put only string in here, we can check just one option, nothing more than this, like CSS, like that, nothing more. If you add another value, so like that, it will not work. It will say it takes only one parameter. You added a lot. So for that, we're using this another tuple, which is we adding there. This I mean parenthesis with the quotation again. Now we can add some more options. For example, it's just dot min dot gs, right? We can use dot min dot like dot gs, and I want to add one more. I mean, I can add also um like dot min dot css like that, for example. It will say true because one of them true, right? When you run it, sorry by the way, let's stop it and run it again. True. Did you see that? Even if one of them true, it will say true. Run that, true. Even one of them wrong and one of them true, it will say true. Even both of them wrong, it will say false, as you see in here. Did you understand how to work with this? So if we have many more files, like a lot files, we can check both of them, like or all of them with this method. We can use for loop again, and let's say, let me give you an example. Let's say for file, for example, like can we use for file? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can say file like that. For file in files, let's say files. We can say if file ends with, by the way, put dot ends with, and we can put two option. We can say dot mean dot css, and we can say, by the way, I will use list not string, dot mean dot mean js, or even like dot py, like a python file, python extension, or even c++, like cpp.cpp, like that. Okay, this is some options. We will say then like print f, like that, and we will say starting, um, maybe we can say the file is starting, file is ending. Yeah, maybe that one is true, right? um this file, let's say this file, I mean, then we can add this one ends with, not ends with, anyway, if it is true, let's say this file, just this file, okay? I don't want to write there many more things. So else, if not true, we will say f, and let's say file, or let's say this is this file. Okay, this file not ends with, let's say this file ends with, like that, and this file not ends with, and we can use our file into that. This one is correct one if it ends with the pi and cpp and whatever else. If it didn't ends with this ones, it will set in another point. So now I can just say delete this one, and I just say like something else dot mean dot js, and I will go another one, and I will use again same method. I will say main dot, not mean in this case, let's say I want to use dart. Dart is not in our list, so it will be in else conditions, right? And the other one will be, let's say cpp, it will be true. It will be in if conditions, it will be output in if conditions, and this one will be something else like that, and will be java, like that. Let's say like that, okay? So when I run that, what will happen? See that nothing happened because our program gives error. All right, this file ends with, ends with means like true. something will be in here, like it ends with this guys, like some of them, right? Ends with min.js. As you see min.js in here, it is true, and it's just displayed out in the if conditions, right? Anyway, I will teach you about conditionals and for loops and whatever else you want, like while loops and all of them in the future. Just try to understand concept about ends with string format, like string, not method, not format. And this file not ends with dart, or even we can say with um I think we don't need to use file in here. Maybe the way, we can check it in different way. It ends with, this file ends with cpp, and this file not ends with java. Okay, this file is the same file, okay? Then the name of the file is the same, just you can think like that. So it's just saying file ends with CPP. Yeah, we have CPP, like which is C++, and the file is not ends with Java because we now have Java in our options. I mean, in here or even in here, right? So sorry, in here we have, but which is we put their condition like in ends with. If we have this extensions, then just work like run the if conditions. If not, then else conditions will work in this case. That's for like all about this one, okay? Just this guys in here, you can just check them, okay? This is exactly our output. You can learn more about that, but nothing more for about this. It is just that you don't need to know like a lot. So this is just ends with, the other one is just starts with. Okay? That's all guys. Thank you so much for your watch. I hope you understand this format or this like ends with method. It will help you in the future for your programs. Thank you so much for your watch. See you in another class, which is next class will be about split lines. And yeah, let's continue with it.